He liked Holiday, so did Madonna. In 7 days, it was recorded, finished, and delivered. Isn't that crazy?
I sometimes wish she would adhere to that schedule these days.
Mm-hmm. Oh, hi. Welcome to Madonna Songbook, the podcast about Madonna's music, her great songwriting, and producing talent. I'm your host, Giulio Mazzoleni. You may know me from the book and Instagram account, Madonna Songbook. The project was born out of the urge to have a book that really covered all of Madonna's incredible work in music, one to go in depth with each song, and there are 500, by the way. I spent 2 years researching and writing and editing with the help of designer Anthony Coombs in New York, who is a longtime Madonna fan, like I am, and probably many of you are. The experience of the book was so gratifying and warmly welcomed that I decided to make a podcast about it. So if you want to spend some time hearing about all the details and stories of Madonna's songs, this is the place for you. In each episode of this podcast, I take 2 songs from Madonna's catalog and discuss them with a guest. We then expand the conversation to the common theme of those songs and a whole playlist of titles of a similar kind. I hope you will enjoy this podcast as much as the previous episodes have been appreciated. Please join the discussion with your comments on YouTube and Spotify for the video edition, as well as its audio platforms like Apple, Amazon, and Podbean. Without further ado, let's take a journey into Madonna's songbook. Leave all the chatter behind. Let the music take control. The subject of this episode is Madonna's fun songs. The 2 songs we'll particularly discuss and compare are Holiday and its twin but much younger sister song, Celebration. The subject of having fun is common in Madonna's songs, naturally for pop music, although she has often indulged in deeper poetic atmospheres, dramatic subjects, and political issues as well. In this episode, we're taking just one day out of life to have some fun. To have a chat on these songs, I have invited another podcaster, Stefan Mreczko from Philadelphia. Hi.
Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm so glad to have you on my show after you very generously invited me on yours when the book was released.
The Madonna Bible. I mean, how could we not?
Thank you for that. From the fans who might not know you, you are Stefan from MLBC, The Madonna podcast, which is now into its successful 7th season. Congrats on that.
Thank you. I know it's crazy to be podcasting for 7 years about Madonna.
Also, it's crazy that you have shared stage time with Madonna. On the Rebel Heart tour, you were the unapologetic bitch of Philadelphia. Yes. And for the Madame X tour, you were the beer buddy chatting with none other than Madonna.
Yes.
So that must be great experience. I pride myself with having worked with her behind the scenes, but come on, sharing stage time. I would chicken out.
Dancing on stage with her was one of those like what's happening moments in life. It was, and it just flew by so quickly. But yeah, and then the Madame X chat, that was like a completely different experience, just because she was a very different character during that show. So she wasn't quite as up and bubbly and happy, but yeah, hey, the opportunity to sit next to Madonna and, have her, yell at your friend for being from New Jersey, come on.
Well, Stefan, while he's not podcasting or sharing stage time with Madonna, is a freelancer photographer, and he fiddles with music production as well. Now, tell us about your Madonna experience, which I defined for this podcast. What is the thing that made you a Madonna fan?
I became a Madonna fan after seeing her Virgin Tour DVD video. I guess it was a Betamax. I'm a child of the 80s, so it was a long time ago, before DVDs even existed. So yeah, that was sort of like what put her on my radar. But I think Who's That Girl and the music from Who's That Girl was what really sold me. I don't know what it was about Who's That Girl and causing a commotion that just like really drew me in. And I think her character of Nikki Finn was just so weird and wacky. And, it was the 80s. So the 80s.
I'm from Philadelphia.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think that sort of opened my eyes to that. Oh, she's in movies, and then I was able to like do a quick catch up. So it's like Who's That Girl and Desperately Seeking Susan all at the same time. Yeah, I just fell in love, and and if I wasn't on board, which I was, but if I wasn't fully on board after Who's That Girl, the 1, 2, 3 punch of I'm Breathless, Vogue, and Like a Prayer, and Erotica. I mean, it was such a good time to be a Madonna fan back then, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And musically speaking, overall, what is your, I won't say one, but name just a few titles of songs or albums that are closest to your heart?
Songs, I would say Vogue is like how they have like Desert Island Discs, like what's one song that you would live with forever? It would have to be Vogue, just because I was obsessed with it when it came out, and then I can listen to it a lot over and over and over again, and it sort of never fails to like tire on me, and it always sounds fresh and new and current, even though it has 90s elements to it. It's I still think it sounds beautiful today. And then I think maybe like in terms of albums, Erotica and Bedtime Stories, those two. I mean, I love a lot of Madonna, obviously, but I think those were such huge albums when they came out, both musically, sonically, lyrically. The character that Madonna was sort of embodying during those eras, and yeah, it was a good time. Those were great songs, great albums.
We have similar taste. I kind of like judge or classify songs that are extremely important when I'm playing shuffle on my Spotify, whether I'm walking around or driving. And there are some songs that you never, ever, ever, ever skip. And to me, those are Into the Groove and Vogue. I will never skip them. No, even if I'm in a bad mood, in the wrong mood, among Madonna songs, those are the ones. All right, let's start our conversation today with Holiday, Madonna's first hit, her breakthrough hit, and the epitome of fun songs. Now, she didn't write this song. It came from Curtis Hudson and Lisa Stevens, who had been trying to break through with a band called Pure Energy, but they had just lost their recording contract. So having a good song in their hands, they pitched it around, and they were trying to get it to work. So before Madonna recorded this song, there was another singer that Jelly Bean had pitched to record it. It's Phyllis Hyman from the Supremes, and she had turned it down herself too. So this song had been sitting in Jelly Bean's drawer with tapes for a while. And when Michael Rosenblatt from Sire realized that they needed a strong song for the album and Ain't No Big Deal was not working and they had very little time, he asked around to Reggie Lucas, to Jelly Bean, to other people probably, to submit a song immediately to finish the record. And he liked Holiday, so did Madonna. In 7 days, it was recorded, finished, and delivered. Isn't that crazy?
I sometimes wish she would adhere to that schedule these days.
That's a very good one.
Oh, Madonna.
Who knows when we're going to see something new?
Any day now.
The interesting thing is that Madonna liked the demo so much that she decided to recreate its original sound. So Curtis Hudson was also the arranger. By the way, the song was produced by Jelly Bean, but he had always been a remixer. He had never produced songs. That was his first. So it was Jelly Bean's first hit single as well. So Curtis Hudson was in the room to arrange the song and play bass and guitar and synth. Fred Zarr also played in the song. He would become instrumental to many Madonna songs of her first 3 albums, with bringing up good synth lines, including the strings from Papa Don't Preach or the overdubs in Jimmy Jimmy, Lucky Star. He gave that notch up when she was looking for a better refined production. So, and she played cowbells, which is really fun to hear. Also, recently I've heard the stems of the song, and you can hear that the singers were together singing the BBs, and Madonna was among them as well. And there are some little ad libs that were left out. With such a good song, I would have used anything they were singing. The great thing of this song is that it matched perfectly Madonna's identity. In the beginning, she presented herself as someone for people who wanted to be entertained and distracted from life. So probably that's why she liked these lyrics so much, or why she wrote songs like Everybody in the first place. You know, something to escape reality. How do you perceive the song yourself?
Holiday is one of those all-time classic Madonna songs. It's again sort of like with Vogue. I don't think I ever tire of hearing Holiday. When it comes on, it does, I think, the intended goal of putting you in a good mood. You know, it's upbeat, it's bouncy, it's carefree, and I love Holiday. I love that she's continuously played and performed Holiday in most of her shows. Funnily enough, and you mentioned this in Madonna Songbook, it's not performed in the Confessions tour and Madame X, which of course I think in Madame X it would have felt extremely out of place in the set list and the vibe. But I'm surprised that she didn't perform it on Confessions, because I felt like it was ripe for being put in that world, that disco, upbeat happiness. And I would have loved to have heard a Stuart Price Confessions era rendition of Holiday. I mean, I guess we got his version for Celebration Tour, but
and the Drowned World Tour as well. He did a nice remix.
Oh, I mean, come on!
Better with you.
I was so happy she did that, because I loved that Stardust song, and I mean, anytime you give me a Madonna mashup that works that pristine, I mean, it was just so good. Yeah, I love Holiday's great, and that, I mean, you have that bass line that catches you. The strings are just heavenly. Anytime, I'm always on board. Give me Madonna and strings, or Madonna and synths. Yes, sign me up, please.
That song started as a 6 minutes, 20 seconds long version, because it was the days of the 12-inch remixes. I mean, songs were already being made long, and then they would be condensed for the 7-inch edition for the radio edit, as opposed to being, you know, splashed out on a longer term. And it's really incredible, because it was the moment when Madonna was trying to have a crossover and not be just a dance club artist, but to get on radio. The crazy thing is that once they picked that song, and she understood that she needed radio, because she was coming from the clubs world and she was very happy with being in the dance chart. But at the label, they explained what it took her to take the next step up, and that was airplay. She went for it. She would be every week at the label to find out who was playing the song, who was not, with all those calls that they used to make. And she went herself to New Jersey every week and knocked at the door of C100 and asked them to please play the song. It's incredible how determined she was, but she knew it was the song that would make the difference, because her first two singles were okay-ish, but were not breaking through. And once it started on the radio in America, that made the song internationally interesting for the other offices of Warner in the world. And so she went to England, the Top of the Pops famously, and then the other shows, which it's incredible. We don't have a video for Holiday.
I know.
But she did so many TV appearances, and they were used over the years. Solid gold in the US. It's crazy.
I always wish that we had a video for Holiday. I felt like she is such a visual artist that we've come to know and love. And the fact that doesn't exist for one of, I mean, I guess that got rectified once we got Blonde Ambition, and then she released that promo
to promote
performance.
Truth or Dare.
Yeah.
The crazy thing, I think, is they were running out of money, because they had been already investing a lot on her, including making a video for Burning Up when MTV was playing rock music only. So it must have been a moment where they were out of money. Lisa Rosenberg told me that the moment that they made the effort for Borderline, they were convinced about it. The international labels were like, "Oh, we're not sure about that. Can we do Lucky Star?" And the label was like, "We have no money. If you're putting money on the table, we're filming the video." and they sent $10,000, which is how they made that very simple but iconic Lucky Star video. And it was everything happening at the same time. Holiday becoming a hit, Lucky Star being filmed, Borderline going to radio. That was the season that changed everything in Madonna's career. The song has an incredible power, even nowadays, of being recognized as one of the most recurrent 80s hits. Madonna has made many, many versions. I think my favorite live is the Blonde Ambition, which comes from the arrangements of You Can Dance. I think that energy was incredible and I really like it. But so have other artists, but it's been covered many times, including back in the 1980s. I need to read those names, although I had the record. The two rappers from Belgium, MC Miker G and DJ Sven, made Holiday Rap, which was an English language rap over the instrumental version of Holiday, which made the song even more popular in 1986. In Europe, at least. I don't know if you guys heard it in America. It was such a huge hit. And later in the years, Madhouse, that was this dance project that sold a lot of records by making Holiday as a cover. You might like it. Exactly as the Drowned World tour arrangement. Madonna was pissed about it because they made a whole album replicating her own remixes cheaply with a current beat. It was definitely not original, as she would say, reductive. What I really like about the song Holiday is that in England, it's such a big hit that it was released 3 times. In 1983, this is the first single promoting the first album release. And then in 1985, when they re-released the first album, it was another hit. It went to number 2 in the charts just because Into the Groove was number 1. And then in 1991, to promote the Immaculate Collection in summer 1991, it was another top 5 hit. Incredible for a single to go 3 times to the top of the charts, same song. So that must be an anthem for English people. There are many other versions and many other lives that Holiday has taken. There are Easter eggs here and there, including the Confessions tour. If you remember, before Music Inferno, there was the radio tuning moment, and Holiday would be heard for a second, and the audience would go like, "Wow!"
Yep.
Which, again, like you said, makes it crazy that it wasn't in that show. But everywhere else, pretty much everywhere else, including the second leg of the Celebration tour, the Sticky and Sweet tour, it was added, funnily enough, with our second song, Celebration. So let's talk about Celebration.
Yeah, I love that she sort of teased the Celebration song in Sticky and Sweet because I was hungry for that song to come out. And when she did Holiday, it had like the rumors had leaked online, like, oh, she's using the music from Celebration. And I was like, she is? And I didn't realize how similar a world the song Celebration would be in terms of its connection to Holiday. So yeah, I love that it's...
I remember hearing that and not knowing, probably because I saw 2 dates at the very early stages, at the beginning of that leg of the tour, and the song came out in September. So in July, we were hearing this odd remix of Holiday, and then she added the Michael Jackson tribute because he died a couple of days before the tour started. And I think it was genius because she was not saying it, but at the same time, she was introducing everyone. It was a major Easter egg, and we only knew later. So how can we define Celebration? It's a song that she did for her Greatest Hits compilation Celebration in April 2009 and released in September. Now, clearly the intention was to put together a song to dance to and become an anthem as big as Holiday, because the inspiration not only comes in the title, Holiday Celebration, but also in some riffs of the song, the same melody. Structurally, it's pretty much the same, which is why the two songs work together on that Sticky and Sweet second leg. It's incredible because it's a completely different team, and this one Madonna wrote. Madonna did this song with Paul Oakenfold. He was helped by his assistant Ian Green and Ciaran Gribbin, who later became the replacement for Michael Hutchence in Excess. And he's the one who sings the melodies, the male melody that we hear in the song. I found out that the song essentially was created by Paul Oakenfold and his team musically. The track was already there. Madonna liked it, picked it among a dozen of submissions, and decided to finalize the melodies and add her own vocals and lyrics. Now, like I said, she didn't write Holiday, and it was a song about having fun and distraction and getting together. And so is Celebration. But here we have a different Madonna, someone that is more similar to Into the Groove, about seducing someone on the dance floor. Do you see that connection?
Oh, yeah. I think the thing that I tripped out about when Celebration, the song, came out was what a great marriage of all big Madonna themes that she sort of had running consistently through a lot of her famous dance songs, and how they all sort of came together in that one song. So you get this fun, upbeat dance. It's very like Into the Groove. There's like the spoken word of Madonna, which I love that she did, which harkens back to Into the Groove or Physical Attraction. It's sexy Madonna. It's playful Madonna. You get the laugh. I love that we heard a Madonna laugh in Angel, and then in the True Blue era, we got Madonna laugh, and then so she brings that back for Celebration as well. I love that there's she was almost like ticking all the boxes. What are the things that I do the most that are in some popular dance anthems of mine? And I'm going to include each of those tropes within Celebration, the song. And I think she was so successful in achieving that. I was baffled that it wasn't a bigger song, because
Me too.
to me, it's so catchy, and it's a great dance song. I loved it. I love. Well, I don't know if we're going to talk about this. Are you Team Oakenfold or Team Benassi?
Benassi. I'm team both, but I really like the original version. I know that a lot of people discussed it as sounding old at the time it was released, but in truth, it was a super intentional tribute to the disco days. I thought it was fantastic. It had that beautiful energy. Now I know, and we know, that Madonna prefers the Benassi remix. I've met Benny Benassi and worked with him, and he's great. And I think he did an amazing job at giving another life to the song. And she's always performed that remix and never the original version. But I really enjoyed it. I remember playing it at parties a lot, preferring it to the remix because it's joyful. And again, it references disco. Especially, I love that in the remix, you can hear Madonna attempting at some melodies by tributing Let's All Chant. My body, your body. Mm-hmm. It's specifically intended to be an homage. So that's why I think it was great, because Oakenfold was extremely contemporary with his beats, and the plenty of remixes he had done for Madonna before doing Celebration, just like she started working with Shep Pettibone after a few remixes. But at the same time, they were twinkling at this little beautiful moment of disco or being on the dance floor. So I do too wish that it had been a bigger hit. However, it was a number one in 21 countries, and it served well as the launch of the Greatest Hits compilation. In my opinion, far better than Revolver. Oh,
yeah. I mean, two different types of songs.
Yeah, one was very American, the other was very Europop. Mm-hmm. So I think she was trying to serve both sides of the Atlantic, which are the two main markets for Madonna, Europe and North America. But as we know, she's extremely popular in South America as well. So the crazy thing is that Madonna filmed the video here in Milan and in Barcelona. And initially we were hearing the rumors because, people being hired technically to work on the set and stuff, that she was doing a video to the Oakenfold version with herself and a video to the Benny Benassi version with the fans. And eventually she delivered two videos, both synced to the Benny Benassi remix, which definitely grew on her at this point. I love the video that she did. It's the place where she filmed it, for everybody's curiosity, is the same where Dolce & Gabbana have their fashion shows. It's the one where she went last fall when she showed up with the lace veil. It's a former movie theater. It's a big place where they host their events. It's a black box, and they filled it with whatever she needed to do. And I remember my friends who were fans lining up in their Madonna outfits, trying to get into the video and only one made it. A lot of people showed up. It was fun.
She looks great in that video. I sometimes I don't like when she wears wigs in videos, but I thought that wig cut on her, that short bob, worked really well. And then I loved the dance, the staccato dance that she was doing, and how they sort of like would like slow it down and like roll it back, and that like sparkled glitter mirror dress that she's wearing. I mean, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and I think she premiered the collapsing on the floor end of video that she eventually did again and again and again for Give It To Me, Bitch, I'm Madonna. It became, again, a staple of her.
Die Another Day, I think she's done it in. She's done it a lot. She's done like
about
Hung Up, Sorry. I mean, I feel like she's done, like, name a video where she doesn't collapse at the end. It's a good Madonna. That's good Madonna trivia.
Yeah, that's good for trivia. So we have prepared a compilation, as we say here in Italy, or a playlist of songs. As you know, many of the episodes of this podcast come from playlists that you can find on the book. In this episode, Stefan and I have worked on a special playlist that I'm going to add to my Spotify account, Madonna Songbook by Giulio Mazzoleni, and you can find it and listen to it. We will go through these titles, and then if you want to have fun specifically, you will find this playlist. And obviously, you can make yours, adapt it, import it, add your tracks. You know, it's very open. It's just a good excuse to have a good chat about the fantastic music that Madonna makes. So let's go with the playlist.
Let's go.
But before we talk about the playlist, I forgot to show something, and it's the essence of collecting Madonna's records and at the same time having a testimony of how she likes to have fun. The picture disc of Celebration, the single, it's all photos made from the after show tour and party in Rio de Janeiro. Am I right?
And so good. It's such a good. I love that she was like, I'm going to have a party and then repurpose it as a single cover.
Completely. So make good work out of good fun.
Mm-hmm. And come on, give me a smoky eye Madonna anytime. I'm sold. She looks beautiful.
Yeah, she looks beautiful when she's having fun. Even recently, she's been posting photos from her partying. You can see when she's really enjoying it. This was one of those.
Yeah, but well, she was probably happy to be done with the tour.
Yes. But it all started with Everybody. And like we said, it's the perfect song about having fun and relaxing on the dance floor and expressing yourself. We will do a special podcast about the dance songs. And obviously, some of the titles overlap because having fun and dancing go together, although we know that Madonna's taught us how brilliant she is at writing up-tempo songs that you think are about having fun and they're actually very introspective. But today, we're enjoying the beauty, like she said, to get up and do your thing. And I've seen you across the room. Don't be standing there shyly against the wall. Come here and join us on the dance floor. And it started from there, and obviously she really enjoys that. Although she has maturated through her career, you can see it. Even Celebration being a fun song, it's a much more sophisticated one compared to Holiday, which is another title, and obviously Into the Groove, which again is about seduction and releasing the pressure by dancing, whether you're dancing by yourself at home or on the club dance floor. A good party and feel-good song is Where's the Party? Stefan, tell us about it.
So Where's the Party, obviously off of her True Blue album. I always felt like that was, I mean, I think in terms of like popularity, obviously True Blue was one of her biggest albums of her career in terms of like how many records it sold. And I know people are aware of Where's the Party, but now in retrospect, I feel like Where's the Party sort of gets lost in her discography. I don't think it's ever really celebrated quite the way that it should be. If Madonna had stopped making music at the end of the 80s, maybe songs like Angel and Where's the Party would constantly be, she'd always be playing those if that was all the music that she ever made.
True.
But because she's continued on for so long, she's had to like chop songs off of playlists that we never hear again. Two of those, like Angel and Where's the Party, like
I hear you on that. Yeah,
you hear snippets of Where's the Party. You know, like she'll do little call outs to Where's the Party and
in Music Inferno and in Holiday of the Celebration tour.
exactly.
There's a nice story. I was interviewing Mike McKnight, who has been Madonna's engineer on many tours, and he was asked, speaking of Where's the Party being probably buried, that he was asked by Stuart Price to find the stems if he had them, because in Madonna's archive, they couldn't locate it right away. So he delivered, and he said, I was listening as I was doing research on my hard disk. I found that song and I realized 7 days later, I was still humming it. So that's the incredible power of Madonna as a songwriter. She makes these infectious melodies. And Where's the Party has one or two, actually, because there are some melodic changes in that song. And it's a super fun party song. And like you said, the abundance of hits she's had after that sacrificed a few of them on the road, including Angel, Gambler, Where's the Party, and so forth. There's a song that I particularly like for having fun, and it's Don't Stop. It's the perfect silly song in Bedtime Stories album. I really enjoyed it at the time because I enjoyed how sophisticated Madonna was getting, but not forgetting about having fun. And again, she was looking back at the disco days of the 70s, so I thought it was perfect. In some countries, like Italy, it was delivered to radios, and even in America, it had a lot of spontaneous airplay because out of all the sophisticated R&B sound of the record, that one stood out for airplay impact, and obviously it could have been bigger had it been a single.
Which it should have been. I was shocked that wasn't chosen as a single for that record. And I get it. Like, she had very specific single choices in mind. And we got some crazy killer good videos from Bedtime Stories, the era. But I just felt like Don't Stop was super commercial and would have done really well. Maybe it was a little too light.
It's a crazy story, by the way, but Don't Stop was added to the album last second. I interviewed Daniel Abraham, who did the remix, the same who remixed Fever for the video and Rain. He was called in the middle of summer by Freddie DeMann saying Madonna would like to add this song to her album, which is ready for mastering, and we are in a rush. Will you please do it? And he first turned it down because he's from France. He lives in New York and was going to join his family on holiday, on summer holidays. And he said no, and Freddie called back and said, please do it, we'll pay you more. And he accepted, and he was delivered a very, very rough demo of bass, guitar, drum loop, and voice, totally undeveloped. It turns out that Madonna was deciding to replace Your Honesty and take it out of the album last second and decided to include Don't Stop. And he had come up with a crazy, he said, bass synth bass line that his technician was like, what are you doing? This is Madonna song. She'll never like it. And he said, I'm sure she'll like it. She came in and said, I love everything. Take that bass line out. So they delivered it. Who knows what it would have been? So obviously it was a last second intuition that she probably understood that she needed something cheerful and happy, although I think Your Honesty is fantastic. And I'm very glad that it came out.
I love Your Honesty, but I'm excited about the Bedtime Stories release too. Side note, like I'm just hungry to get whatever that new chapter is.
No clue, actually. We all know there's plenty stuff, and in my book you can find information about those songs, but who knows what she's going to deliver and when. Again.
Oh my God. Any day now.
Any day now. After the Bedtime Story album, which again was already a bit serious, and so was Erotica, she didn't do fun stuff for a while, and the first occasion was to record with Britney Spears, Me Against the Music, which was definitely a fun track. But then came the Confessions on the Dance Floor era. Now Madonna was explaining that she refused to write silly songs and songs that had no deeper meanings, but at the same time she was still able to deliver great up-tempo fun songs like Get Together.
One of my all-time favorite Madonna songs. If I was able to bring two songs with me on a desert island, Vogue and Get Together, those would be my two. I remember hearing, and I'm sure you remember, right before Confessions officially was released, it leaked on some like Japanese website, and when those synths started of Get Together, I turned to my coworker because I was blasting it in the office of where I was working. And I turned to her and I was like, this is the song I've been waiting for Madonna to do my entire life.
Oh.
And I was elated by that song. And I have forever loved that song. I can listen to that song over and over and over again. And I just never tire of it. I don't know why. It's just, there's something catchy about it. And I just love the Stewart's production of it and those synths. I mean, give me Madonna and synths or strings. I'm on board.
It's definitely a fan favorite. And again, one of those that could have been much bigger. And then obviously we have Celebration, and then came the MDNA era where Madonna was doing a lot of dance music, but not necessarily much of fun songs. One of those definitely is Turn Up the Radio, which is a song she didn't write from the scratch. She actually enjoyed a lot, a song that Martin Solveig had not put into his new album. And by the way, that song had already leaked before Madonna recorded it. So you can compare the two versions. But you see that if melodically and from the sound, she didn't alter much, although she really pushed on the bass line, insisting with Martin Solveig to go hard EDM. Musically, she inserted a lot of new lyrics and actually added a lot of words, which made the song even hard to sing along. And I remember that during the MDNA tour, she wanted that to be the sing-along song, but there were a lot of words in there. Yeah. And yet that beat is quite infectious. I think it's super fun. And the actual concept of turning up the radio, don't ask me where I want to go. It's total fun. It's a total celebration. I remember the video being filmed here in Florence. The day before I was with her, I handed her the platinum disc, and the rumor was out, and even management told me they were going to film the video the next day. But it was so hot that I refused. They said, she's filming in the streets. And I was like, I'm going back to Milan and turning on the air conditioning. I'm sorry. I don't know how she managed to do that. Although it was late afternoon, it was an extremely hot day, and she was wearing that latex. How incredible.
And that wig. I mean, that
wow,
wig could not have been a breathable wig.
No. Back to the lyrics and to the music, I think that the whole record, even with songs like Birthday Song or Girl Gone Wild, showed Madonna's intention to do dance music, but at the same time not be necessarily and strictly about fun, and putting in some of her personal wisdom and things she believed in, or provocations, or narrative like Gangbang that takes a whole departure from the original demo. I think it's hard to match being super catchy and pop and EDM, and at the same time wanting to be the singer-songwriter that she is and not putting aside her talent. So it must have been a challenging experience. It came definitely easier when it was time to do Bitch I'm Madonna, which is a song that she requested to deploy at the end of her sessions, going like, give me the craziest beat you have. I want to create something wild. And everybody went crazy about it. And some fans were shocked how odd it was for their ears. But if you look at it, it became one of her most recent biggest hits. And incredibly, some of the sounds in it that Diplo put in are now commonly on the radio 10 years later. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Bitch I'm Madonna is a bop. I gotta say, I think when I first heard it, I was not ready for that sound with Madonna, and now I love it. Like, I think it's so wacky and weird, and
yeah.
People complained it was what a terrible song to close the Celebration tour on, and I'm like, I actually think that's a perfect choice for her to end that tour, because it's all about her and celebrating her and who she is, and it's such a statement piece.
Yeah, her fuck you attitude, that's forever. And one of the recent ones, actually her most recent fun effort, is Back That Up to the Beat, a song that she was originally intending to do for Rebel Heart with Pharrell, and got put aside when it had nothing to do with that record, but came out on Madame X in a different version. And then by fate, her demo had leaked and was picked by someone on TikTok, and it became a trend, and Madonna released it. I always thought it is so much fun when she talks about her drinking her favorite drink and having fun and not caring about having the grills. I love that beat. It's such a fun song. I think it's perfect ending to our playlist.
Well, hold on. Are we not mentioning Vogue? Where's Vogue in this?
Oh, fuck, we forgot our favorite song. Well, I guess it's true. How can we not list Vogue. At the same time, like as I was saying, the lyrical impact of that song is so sophisticated and so important. I mean, to me, it helped me define my own identity by being on the dance floor. We will talk about this in a special episode dedicated to Vogue and the dance songs. It's true. It's about having fun on the dance floor. At the same time, I give it such an importance. It's the gospel to me, so I don't
Yeah.
consider it fun, but definitely has to be in the list. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
Give the face. All right, that's it for this fantastic conversation. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed going through this playlist. Again, you will find it on Spotify. I will edit specifically after this podcast goes out. And thank you so much, Stefan, for this wonderful chat. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me. You've inspired me. I need to get a side camera so I can like turn to the viewers.
Yeah, do it. I was invited by the fantastic platform I'm recording on to do so. And I was like, oh, yeah, sure. I have an iPad. Let's do it. It's fun. I should use it more. Yeah. Strike a pose. Thanks again. I hope to be in touch again soon. And let's chat soon.
Absolutely.
Ciao. That's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as Stefan and I did. If you want to dig further into the subjects of the songs we discussed about, you can find them in my book, Madonna Songbook. You can find this book available on Amazon in the EU, in the UK, in Canada, in Japan, in Mexico. In the US, it's available through A-Books, and worldwide, it's available from Antiga Edizioni. You can find the link in the description of this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this book. And I hope you like this podcast. Please let me know with your comments on your streaming platform, whether it's on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or Amazon or Podbean. You can also send me a direct message or a comment on Instagram at Madonna Songbook, where I'm always posting about Madonna's songs. Also, is there a song you'd like to know more about? Would you like it to be discussed in this podcast? Then please subscribe to the premium plan via Patreon. You will have a chance to win a copy of my book for each episode I release, and the exclusive access to a monthly Q&A with me where I'll answer all of your questions as much as I can. Look out for the next episode of this podcast. It will come out 2 weeks after this one. There is a whole season of episodes ahead, so if you're new, come join the party. It's a musical celebration. Yes, on Madonna's Songbook, it's all about the music. Let's leave the chatter behind. Let the music take control. No more hesitation. Bye-bye.